Today's guest, owner of Blackall Photography, Kelly Blackall. And now, here he is, your host, and of all the people I know, he's one of them, Terry Sullivan.
He's so weird. Such a weirdo.
What?
The world runs on weirdos, though. We like weirdos. I
Weirdo
like
power.
weirdos.
You know, buddy, listen, how long have you and Paula been married?
10 years.
10 years. Lots of jewels for that woman when she gets to heaven. Lots of jewels for all she's had to put up with.
I don't know what you mean.
Sweet woman.
Kelly, it's so good to have you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Got Kelly
Love being here.
Thank you. Got Kelly Blackall with us today, and we've got a lot to discuss about a lot of different things, and
A lot of things going on.
And I'm excited about it. Now, you've had a busy weekend.
Yep.
So tell me, let's go back to when you first started in photography.
Okay.
Because your photography is absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
I mean, I just every time.
Make me blush over here.
Well, it is. It's so beautiful, and I don't know anything about it. You know, I've learned since I've started doing this show, I don't know a lot about anything.
As long as you know a little bit about something.
Yeah. So
There you go. You know barbecue.
I know barbecue.
That's helpful.
But I look at your photographs, and they're so detailed, and things that you see in those photographs that you don't normally see in other photographs. And I often wonder, how does she do that? So let's go back to.
It's a great question. I don't know that I know the answer how I do it.
I mean,
I love it.
It must be instinctual, right?
Yeah, probably a little bit of it, a little bit schooling, a little bit background, and then just knowing the way you like something, the way it looks.
Do you study it? I mean, do you?
A little bit.
Yeah. So you
Yeah,
go.
I always like to improve, you know.
Yeah.
Like you like to find new recipes maybe and
Yeah,
improve
yeah,
on
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. Barbecue. I'm always learning new techniques, although I've done it for more than 30 years. So when you're outside, do you like shooting outside or inside best?
Ooh, that depends on what I'm doing. I think I'm kind of mixed. I love outside, beautiful sunsets. I mean, that's God talking to you. You just can't beat that.
Mm-hmm.
But headshots, indoor lighting, I have a little more control. Not that I have a problem with control issues. Don't ask Troy any of that. But
Let me assure you, Troy has told me that you have that issue there. We're not going to go there. I
Good,
promised I
good.
wouldn't. I promised we wouldn't do it.
so depending on what I'm doing, I
Let
guess.
me remind you also, this is my show, so don't get ahead of me.
Okay. So let's go with outside. I love outside just because, you know, that golden glow, yummy light that you can't get. You just can't manufacture that. So to answer your question, outside probably be the best. My favorite.
So when you're preparing for a shoot outside, what do you look for? I mean, do you look for specific times of day? Do you look for cloud covering? What do you look for?
I'm not a big fan of cloud cover. When I first started, I probably was just because I didn't know how to control light. But I tend to like the bold, sunny days more. I like the color pop. There's kind of different styles in shooting. There's, you know, you can get light and airy, you can get dark and moody. I'm somewhere in between, a little more true color. And I like just enhancing that true color just a tad. So yeah, those sunny days with the great sunset, we like to shoot probably about 2 hours before sunset, start a photo session. If I'm doing a bridal or a family, start it around then, and then we can capture all that pretty light.
What do you like shooting the most?
Weddings, probably the most. I love weddings. In the wedding industry, I started in 2001 as a wedding coordinator. So I've been in the wedding industry a while, and I love it. I don't get stressed out. It's a great job for me. I've never once had a bridezilla. That's everybody's question.
Right.
I don't think we let it get that far. I kind of Southern mama them a little bit. And I love weddings. They're fun, they're beautiful, and you're part of someone's best day ever, and that's your job.
Sure. And you have beautiful wedding photographs. I just enjoy looking at them because the wedding party, the
They're
bride
fun.
and the groom, they just look so happy.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's their best day.
It's a great experience.
Yep.
So you had said to me that you really got started into photography as a little girl with your grandfather.
Yeah. He was a cameraman. He had a studio, Blue Productions, in Southern California. He lived in Topanga, and on a mountainside. His next door neighbor is Allie Sheedy from the Brat Pack, and it was just a really cool childhood growing up. And we lived in Northern California, but we spent a lot of time with him. And I'd go hang out, we'd take photos and go develop them in his darkroom. And that's kind of where I had the base for learning that skill. I still have some of my old photographs that I developed. And then into high school, Lewisville Farmers, I worked in their darkroom, and they were film. Yearbook and newspaper, did some photos for that. And,
so literally all of your life,
most of it, yeah.
You have been doing this.
I love it though. It's a great job, and being able to turn it into a business and still have it be something you love. I mean, that's the American dream right there.
Yes, yes. How many shoots do you do in a year?
Probably right around a little over 200 photo shoots. I only take 20 weddings a year though. And I say that, 20-ish. I did 22 this year. My brother got married, so I got to do his wedding for him, and I had another friend get married. But yeah, about a little over 200 for photo shoots.
Wow.
So my next day off right now, we have photo shoots every single night. Fall's our busiest time of year. My next day off is December 16th. So busy time.
You are, yeah. but your busiest time is maybe fall?
Fall, yep. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So was it hard for you? So you started back in the day when you had to take a picture, and then you had to go in a dark room and develop it. Was it hard for you to transition into the digital era?
No, it was really easy for me. My second year in college, they gave me my first digital, and they said, here, figure it out. So I had some time. I wasn't doing it professionally at that point. I had some time to learn and play with it, and I did the first banner for their website. And I had to take a picture, slowly on the tripod, notch it over, and do a panoramic. And it was fun. It was cool to learn. And I mean, digital's come so far now. I have a mirrorless camera now that I shoot with. That it's super quiet and it's great to use.
What does that mean?
Let me show you.
Oh, you have it with you.
I have it with me.
Oh, exciting.
So this is my new toy. It's a Z9. It's the newest Nikon that just came out. And
how much did that camera cost?
Great.
Does Troy know that you have that?
Troy has expensive toys too, and we made a deal. I will never give him a hard time about his expensive toys if he doesn't give me one about mine. But mine actually pays the bills, so there's a difference.
There's always that.
Yeah, so I don't know, right around $5,000.
But his toys put food on the table.
Yes, they do. They do.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we have some good elements.
So how long have you had this?
This one just came out. I've had it maybe since December, last December.
I mean, when you bought this, were you like a? Can I touch it?
Careful now.
Can I touch it? When you bought this, were you like a kid? I mean, it's like Christmas,
it's getting
right?
a new toy, 100%. You sit there and you press all the buttons and figure out what everything does. I'm not a big manual reader. I like to just, try it and see what happens. So I just press all the buttons and.
So what can you do with this that you couldn't do with your others?
Oh, not really anything, but it's a little bit higher quality resolution.
That's what Troy would say. What can you do with this that you couldn't do with the other one, right?
It's just prettier. It takes good photos. The resolution's better. I get a little more speed behind the shutter.
So when you say it's a mirrorless and so it doesn't make noise, how does that happen?
There's different mechanics from a DSLR. So I won't go into details on. There's a lot of difference, but there's a volume control on this. You can turn it off. So had a Catholic wedding on Saturday, and very beautiful church, very nice acoustics in there. And when you click a shutter, it echoes everywhere. And this, no sound. So.
Now that's amazing.
Yeah, it was nice. And the coordinator there, she came out to me afterwards. I appreciate you being quiet, not having that shutter clicking 100 times.
So Kelly, your business is 15 years old, right?
Yeah, right about 2008.
Has it always been in Old Town Lewisville?
Since I started, I've lived in Old Town Lewisville, so I've kept it here. I shared a studio space on Main Street for a while with another photographer, and then when I started doing more weddings and kind of getting out of the studio work, we transitioned everything into an office, and we have a historic home over here, built in the 1850s. And so we turned one of the rooms into my office, and brides come there and meet with me. And I think I love having that office space there because it gives a little bit of a trust factor. Brides know where I live, they meet my dogs. Everyone who comes over, they leave with a little bit of canine confetti. That's their gift.
Right.
And it's just good to have that trust factor. Weddings are very expensive and they can get crazy. And, you know, you hear stories sometimes of photographers that don't do right by their people. But when they come and see me, they come to my home. And my mama raised me right, so I would never, of course, do anything like that. But it's good to know that they know where to find me if they need me.
So, Old Town is a very unique place.
It really is.
A very close community, and you've seen it grow for many years now.
I went to middle school here in DeLay.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep.
So what was the vibe of Old Town 15 years ago compared to what it is today?
I feel like we have a good sense of community. When I first started, about 15, 16 years ago, I started with Main and Mill, our business association down here, which then it was called Old Town Business Association, OTBA. And we still had that same core group, and we're still in it today, the same people. I don't know that much has changed. I mean, the landscape has changed a little bit, but the people here, we've always had a good community. We have great neighbors in Old Town. You know, I tell everybody we're in Mayberry. All of my neighbors, I can walk into their house, they walk into mine.
It is that. I have not thought about it that way, but it is that.
We have a very good, close-knit community. You know, Troy was fire department for a long time, and when he was gone every third night, I never worried. All my neighbors, hey, come over tonight. Troy's on shift. You know, come have dinner with us. There was no being alone, for sure. So.
Has Troy ever told you how much barbecue he eats?
Yes. I see the to-go containers in my fridge. He doesn't have to tell me. And most of the time I try to come with him here. So
yes, you do.
Except on weekends when I'm working.
You're so busy. So there's in Old Town Lewisville, it's a great revitalization program going on. Does that excite you?
Yes. Yes, I am excited. I love progress. It's fun to see. It's fun to watch. Fun things to change. But we have a good group that, yes, we're going to have progress, but we still need to keep it Old Town. And so, you know, there's a good mix of people in our group, in our business association that, you know, pushes for a little more progress. And then there's some that pulls us back a little bit. And we find that middle ground. And, you know, we still have Old Town. There's, yes, there's different things here. And if you've come back from being gone for the last 10 years, it's going to look a lot different. But the core group, the people that are here, we're the same. And we still have our place that we go and hang out every Friday night, you know, and come watch music over at Sullivan's. And it's still that club of people that we all know one another.
Yeah. So let's talk about your project.
Okay.
I got to get this conversation in different directions because you're such an interesting person. So you started a project. What's the name of it?
I have maybe 10 working names right now. The one I'm kind of leaning toward is Exit 452 Cowboy. Main Street Exit, 452. You know, good old boy, the boys they don't make anymore. I've had all these different ideas in my head. Exit 452 is just kind of stuck out. And I want to do something with legacy, the legacy project, the cowboy legacy. I don't know, I'm still tweaking that. I had Easter service with Northview Baptist and Kenneth Wells, we all know. He talked about having a legacy, and that really stuck with me. And so having legacy in the title somewhere is something I want.
So is this a book? Is it going to be a book for sale, or is this personal, or what?
So a little bit of both. Started off as personal. We had a guy pass away a while ago, Gail Johnson.
Yeah.
He used to own the feed store over here, Johnson Feed.
Yeah.
And I was kind of kicking myself that I never got a good headshot of him.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what preempted this project to do. I need to get all these guys and get their photos done.
Yeah. Just old cowboys.
Old cowboys.
You know what I remember about Gail?
Yeah.
Because you know he would eat here every day with the old guys that would come in every day, and he was so much fun.
He was.
But this is what I remember about him because I'd give him such a hard time, and he'd always say, "Oh, now stop all that."
Yep.
You know?
Sounds about right. He called me kid, or hey kid, every time I came in.
Yeah.
Hey kid. And I hate that I missed that chance to take his photo. So this is my project. The guys, I'm kind of leaning towards the guys that went to Lewisville High School. Maybe not all of them, but generally, that have been around town for a while. The kind of guys that you talk about, you know, how long have you known so-and-so? I've known him for 100 years.
Yeah.
Those guys, the guys that, you know,
They
the
have
good old
great
boys.
stories.
They have great stories, and they are history, and they're part of Lewisville. And I just want to document them. So personal project at first.
Yeah.
Then I thought, well, it'd be kind of fun to display these pictures somewhere. And so I've talked to my friends at the Grand Theater, and we want to maybe do a gallery if I can get enough pictures done.
Yeah.
My goal is to have this done by Western Days next year.
You see this behind you? This
James
Oats bag. Carr brought that to me, and it's an original oat bag from Pulsar's.
From James.
Yeah. From James, yeah.
So I had a really good compliment from James' wife, Virginia, and Rhonda. They had a little ode to him at their mercantile store over here, Main Street Merc, and she said, you're kind of the new James. And
what a compliment.
Right.
Yeah.
For someone like me who loves being a historian, that hit me hard. And so that really, I need to document some stuff with Lewisville.
Let's see what you brought.
Okay, so let's start. Speaking of Carr.
I love Carr.
I know. We'll do his first.
Oh, isn't that
So this
beautiful?
is Carr. So I'm doing kind of a modern day version of a tintype. Taking these guys' photos. I'm using my Z9, and I'm taking them outside.
That looks just like Carr.
It's funny how that works. Doing these along a fence line. So that's been my only stipulation. I've had to take a few different cities. I've had to go track some of these guys down. But generally, we're meeting over at the Mill Street House on Mill.
Yeah.
And there's a little part of the fence that I'm using back there. And this one was taken in my backyard against our fence. So I'm telling them their stipulation, they need to show up in a cowboy hat and a solid button down.
Yeah. Just cowboys.
Yep.
And this dude is just a cowboy.
He is. Yep.
Now, he looks, I know they get it all the time, but he and Troy look like brothers.
They do. You wait till you see Billy's too. I think they look a lot alike. And they hang out. I mean, they went hunting Saturday, and then came here.
Now this guy right here,
they do look a lot alike.
he retires in about a week.
I know.
We've been talking about this for a year, and a year ago, I know. A year ago he couldn't see it, but now he's looking staring right in the eyes of it.
Living the dream.
Yeah, living the dream. Such a great guy.
All right, so that's Cars.
All right.
And then this one most of us all know.
Oh, there's Pastor Wells right
Pastor
there.
Wells,
Now he is a cowboy. Look at that.
Isn't that great?
This Pastor Wells, he has pastored Northview Baptist Church, I think, for 42 years, something like that.
He baptized me too.
Oh, that's a lot of memories right there.
And he's our fire chaplain, police and fire chaplain for Lewisville. So, definitely good ties with the community.
Oh, he's just a great man.
This one, I think Troy and him look a lot alike too.
Look at this. Now let me. This is so neat for me. Put that there so I don't want. Here, hold that one. That's Troy. This is Kelly.
No, this is Bill.
This is Bill?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Billy down at
From Porter's.
Porter's.
Yep, owns Porter's gas station.
Well, they all look alike.
I know. They all favor each other. Well, they all hung out. They've known each other since they were kids.
Now, Bill has been down there for how long? He's on the gas station.
A long time. His father-in-law owned it before that.
Roy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Roy, we just did Roy's photo a couple nights ago. I have a good story to tell. All these guys taking their photos, every single one of them, they kind of grumble, like, oh, I don't want to take a photo. Like, hurry up, get it done.
Right.
Every single one of them, without fail, come afterwards when I show them the picture. Oh, that's a good picture right there. That's not so bad. And then this is my cowboy.
Now look, here's the deal with Bill. He just doesn't talk very much.
No, none of them do.
It's one line. It
kind of works
out.
out.
How you doing today? Good.
It works out.
Look, oh, that's Troy.
Yep.
What a handsome man. Now hold that. I'm gonna bring Carr back.
Okay.
Now see how much they look. They look like brothers. Now they act like brothers
they
too.
Do.
Right. They go hunting together, and all kinds of stuff.
Yep. There's definitely a bond there with some of these guys.
Well, they've known each other for years, and many of them have been eating at my restaurant now, but they've been eating it. I think Carr's been eating it here for over 30 years.
That's what I say. Known him for 100 years. Yep.
What a great picture of Troy.
Yeah.
He loves to bow hunt, doesn't he?
He does. Yep.
And you love to bow hunt.
I do.
So,
I don't get a lot of chance to do it right now with fall. I do competitive archery.
You do?
I do. I love doing that. I'll call it redneck yoga sometimes. It's a little, you concentrate on your breathing, like precision rifle shooting. You just got to breathe and be quiet, and you're out in nature. And it's wonderful. And I haven't been able to do a ton of it, just my schedule. And
So you're going to try to have this project that you have that you don't have a name for yet,
right?
But you're going to try to get it done by Western Days.
Western Days next year. That's my goal. Do the gallery, and
this is going to be, it'll be a great book. I mean,
I think so, yeah. And maybe, so I'd like to do the gallery and, underneath maybe just have their name. But then I thought, all these guys, they have such a great story to tell. I need to write a little bit more that's going to fit on a plaque.
Yeah.
And so I've talked to a few people, more so a photo book with, their photo and then just some interesting information about them.
Yeah.
Maybe just a page long. Not a novel. I'm not a writer. I'm a photo taker. But to just document and show the world who these people were.
Well, I think you're right with it, and I think maybe this is something that God gave you during that Easter service with the Pastor Will's talking about legacy, because these and all the men, you showed me a list of the men that you want to photograph. All of these men are men of character and principle, and the
good old boys, the kind they don't make anymore.
The kind they don't make anymore. Let's talk about. I want to talk about this, and we're going to be very careful about it. But several years ago, you had an accident in your home. And it was in the accident. And you can tell the story, and I want to hear the story because I never heard the whole story. But you got shot.
I did.
In the leg. So take us through that and how that happened.
Accidental shooting, 100%. My husband was walking out, had a pistol underneath his arm, had his hands full, walking out, went in for a kiss goodbye, and it dropped and hit the hardwood floor at just the right angle. But it's one of those, could have been a lot worse.
Sure.
When you see something fall out of the corner of your eye, you kind of lean just instinctually, and I leaned forward, and I think that motion had it hit my tibia, and it could have hit my side, my stomach, anything. But I leaned forward just enough where it went in the front of my tibia and came out my calf. I still have a little bit of shrapnel in there. I get the fun throbbing when it's about to rain. I have some metal parts that tell me when it's going to rain soon, which is great to being a photographer. I know when rain's coming. But
so when you got shot, and obviously it's an accident. And that's probably one of those things where your husband Troy, it's one of those things that to this day probably has nightmares about it because it could have been a lot worse.
It could have been a lot worse, and he was certainly concerned, but he went into work mode. And being a firefighter, I mean, he was the right guy to have right there.
Sure.
He went and grabbed a towel, put pressure, called 911, let the guys in. All the guys that came, of course, we knew all of them. I was begging them, please don't drop me on the stretcher. But I'll tell you this, and if you're anyone of faith, you'll relate to this, but laying out, bleeding out, essentially, I asked Troy if I was going to die. He said, no, baby, you're not going to die. He was brushing my hair back, and he was on the phone with the 911. And, of course, I'm laying down on the ground, and I'm seeing all the dog hair everywhere, thinking, oh, gosh, there's dog hair everywhere. All these people are coming over. And but I had a really great, calm moment. I was fine. I was going to be, okay, this is how I go.
Was it painful? I mean,
extremely painful. Hot, burning, but then in that first moment, then I'm laying down on the floor, and the blood is coming around me, and it's pooling around my leg, and it was very warm. It was kind of like stepping into a warm bath. And I talked to someone else who'd been shot that had that same sensation, and you just go, okay, this is how I go, and I'm fine. And my friend, she said, well, duh, you're right with Jesus, so that's why you were fine. And I think there's some truth to that. I was, and I was going to be fine. But then all the guys came in, and they picked me up, and they took me in the ambulance, and went to the ER. And being a firefighter's wife, you have a lot of people in the community that know you and knew your husband. And my hospital room was packed. There was, they get only a few people at a time can come in here. This was the end of 2020, so COVID was still, in full force, and everyone had masks on, and they had to mask up when they came in there. But what a cool thing in this community to showcase how amazing we are. You brought me food every single day. Aaron came to my door with rolls and cinnamon buns and all the...
I sent my most treasured pecan pie.
Yes.
I remember Troy coming to the back door. I sent a message. I have something for you. He came to the back door, and he got a pecan pie, and he said, I hope this makes it home.
Yeah, he loves your pecan pie. But it was really cool. For 3 months, we didn't cook one meal, not one meal in our house, because everyone came to us. Troy, God love him, is not the best chef in the world. He's not a cooker, so he has other skills for sure, but cooking was not one of them, and we were covered. Our community, Old Town Wine House, came and brought food. You guys covered me every day for lunch. Cara came over and brought me lunch a whole bunch from here. Everyone took care of us. Yeah. Our community did, and they rallied for us, so that was cool.
That's a cool thing about it. Now let me ask you this. When you go through something like that with your spouse, tell me the one thing that happened through all of that that strengthened your relationship with your husband.
Oh gosh, I mean, going through that together, and he was very concerned and thought he had almost killed me, and from the first moment, it was an accident. And me telling him that, I think, alleviated some of that. We got through it together. There was a lot of togetherness in that. He had to help me walk I couldn't really walk unassisted for almost 4 months.
Yeah. What's the one thing that you learned about him during that whole situation?
He's strong. He's so strong. Emotionally, physically, he got my back. It was really cool. I mean, he was so attentive, and he learned how to make my coffee. That was really.
It was worth the whole deal.
Yes, I got coffee made for me every morning, and that was kind of awesome. I was kind of sad when that stopped after being able to walk.
You should have milked that.
I should have milked it a little bit longer. Yeah. No, we got through it together. We're tough. We're stronger. I never held it against him. Everyone always asks, "Oh, I bet you get everything you want forever and ever." I mean, we have each other's back.
Well, wait a minute, though. You got that before all that.
Right, I had that before. It was fine.
That man treats you like a queen.
And same for him. He is my guy.
Yeah.
And forever and ever, he's, we have a little bit of age difference between us. It's just one of those things that work, though. And we like doing the same things. We, have our little nucleus here in Old Town, and we love our lives here.
Yeah.
Yep. I never want to move.
What'd you bring me?
Okay, I brought you a shared table shirt. So, shared table.
Yep.
This is an event we host. We had our shared table shirt last night.
Thank you so much.
Yep. And
I love that.
It has, more importantly here.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for bringing that.
It's a great community event that we did our 5th one last night. We have everyone chip in. You guys did some things. We had all our restaurants chip in. We had I take photos. All our florists did flowers.
It's a great community.
Lewisville High School football guys come in and bus tables for us. It's really a community gathering. So,
Kelly, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You are a great artist, a great photographer.
You.
I love having you here. I love Troy. Take us out, Terry.
Good.